Welcome to GeniesMag YouTube channel. 36 Veterans Day quotes and sayings to salute our heroes. This Veterans Day quotes will help you honor the sacrifices made for our country by our heroes. 1. American without her soldiers would be like God without his angels. Quote by Claudia Pemberton. 2. Americans never quit. Quote by Douglas MacArthur. 3. And thank God for the veterans who still stand at our side. Quote by Greta Swan. 4. Better than honor and glory, and history's iron pen, was the thought of duty done and the love of his fellow men. Quote by Richard Watson Gilder. 5. But the freedom that they fought for, and the country grand they wrought for, is their monument today, and for I. Quote by Thomas Dunn. 6. How important it is for us to recognize and celebrate our heroes and she rose, Maya Angelou. 7. I think there is one higher office than president and I would call that patriot. Quote by Gary Hart. 8. In this Veterans Day we stop and are thankful for all those who have fought in wars so that we may all enjoy our freedom. 9. In war, there are no unwounded soldiers. Quote by Jose Naroski. 10. It is the soldier, not the poet, who has given us freedom of speech. Quote by Zell Miller. 11. My heroes are those who risk their lives every day to protect our world and make it a better place. Police, firefighters, and members of our armed forces. Quote by Sidney Sheldon. 12. On this Veterans Day, let us remember the service of our veterans, and let us renew our national promise to fulfill our sacred obligations to our veterans and their families who have sacrificed so much so that we can live free. Quote by Dan Lipinski. 13. Our flag does not fly because the wind moves it. It flies with the last breath of each soldier who died protecting it. 14. Our veterans accepted the responsibility to defend America and uphold our values when duty called. Quote by Bill Shuster. 15. Peace has victories, but it takes brave men and women to win them. Quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson. 16. People sleep peaceably in their beds at night only because rough men stand ready to do violence on their behalf. Quote by George Orwell. 17. Some people live an entire lifetime and wonder if they have ever made a difference in the world, but the Marines don't have that problem. Quote by Ronald Reagan. 18. Spending time with America's soldiers is always inspiring. Quote by John Boehner. 19. The battle, sir, is not to the strong alone. It is to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Quote by Patrick Henry. 20. The brave men, living and dead, who struggled here, have consecrated it, far above our poor power to add or detract. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but it can never forget what they did here. Quote by Abraham Lincoln. 21. The reward of one duty is the power to fulfill another. Quote by George Eliot. 22. The soldier above all others prays for peace, for it is the soldier who must suffer and bear the deepest wounds and scars of war. Quote by Douglas MacArthur. 23. The thing we all had in common wasn't muscle. It was the will to do whatever it takes. Quote by Chris Kyle. 24. The veterans of our military services have put their lives on the line to protect the freedoms that we enjoy. They have dedicated their lives to their country and deserve to be recognized for their commitment. Quote by Judd Gregg. 25. The willingness of America's veterans to sacrifice for our country has earned them our lasting gratitude. Quote by Jeff Miller. 26. The willingness with which our young people are likely to serve in any war, no matter how justified, shall be directly proportional to how they perceive the veterans of earlier wars were treated and appreciated by their nation. Quote by George Washington. 27. There is a certain enthusiasm in liberty that makes human nature rise above itself, in acts of bravery and heroism. Quote by Alexander Hamilton. 28. These fallen heroes represent the character of a nation who has a long history of patriotism and honor, and a nation who has fought many battles to keep our country free from threats of terror. Quote by Michael N. Castle. 29. This country has not seen and probably will never know the true level of sacrifice of our veterans. quote by Thomas M. Smith. 30. This nation will remain the land of the free only so long as it is the home of the brave, quote by Elmer Davis. 31. Today is the day we should reminisce for those who fought valiantly for the pride, honor, and freedom of our country. Happy Veterans Day. 32. Today is the most special day for the brave men, living and dead, who have given their lives in the service of the nation without asking anything in return. Let us remember their sacrifices and honor their services by celebrating Veterans Day. 33. 25 million veterans are living among United States today. These men and women selflessly set aside their civilian lives to put on the uniform and serve us, quote by Steve Booyer. 34. When our perils are past, shall our gratitude sleep, George Canning. 35. When the peace treaty is signed, the war isn't over for the veterans or the family. 36. America's veterans have served their country with the belief that democracy and freedom are ideals to be upheld around the world, quote by John Doolittle. It's just starting, quote by Karl Marlantes. Did you enjoy these Veterans Day quotes? Which of the quotes was your favorite? Tell us in the comments section below. We would love to hear all about it.